In this video, you are going to learn everything you need to know about what you need to have in your routine to become the best. Let's go. First up, we have aim. Aim is insanely important in Fortnite because at the end of the day, Fortnite is still a shooter, and if you don't learn to hit your shots like the pros, you're just not going to succeed. So how do you improve your aim? Well, there are three main ways to do it within Fortnite: Skaavoks, Skaavoks, and itsJerian. First up, for improving aim, we have Skaavoks. Skaavoks is a third-party aim trading software available on the Steam store for around $10 US. It's amazing for improving your raw aiming ability in all types of aim. If you have the opportunity to get it, research a routine that fits your skill level on YouTube and play it for no less than 30 minutes a day. The next method to improve your aim in-game is Skaavoks. This is a creative map made by Don Wazzy that you can use in-game to improve your aim. In this map, there are a number of scenarios that you can play to improve all aspects of your aim, but the best ones to play are horizontal tracking, reaction training, 360 tracking, and hitting the like button down below if you're enjoying the video. The biggest benefit of this way of training your aim is that you actually learn to use the real weapons that you have in game. You learn the crosshair placement of the pump, the spread patterns of the ARs, and so on. Also, you're able to add in a few strafes and crouches if you want even more realistic practice. If you're on console or just can't get Skaavoks for any other reason, I recommend that you play this map for more than half an hour a day, but if you're also playing Skaavoks, you can just play the tracking and reaction scenarios for a couple minutes. And the last but not least method of improving your aim is itsJerian. This is another creative map, this time made by the legend Raider464. In this map, you and your opponent grab a gun, choose your health, and jump into any one of the massive selection of close range aim scenarios. For this map, you want to play at least 20 rounds on 2000 or 5000 health, depending on who you are. Split your rounds between AR or SMG for tracking, and the fast pump mode for flick and click time practice. When playing itsJerian, you want to focus on movement as well as aim, strafing to the right and crouching to help manipulate your hitbox and make it harder for your opponent to hit you. Before we get into editing practice, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, as only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. Let's get back into the video. The first thing that you should be doing to practice your editing is free building. I know you might be a bit confused right now.
But Shem, free building is for practicing building, not editing. It's in the name. How dumb are you? Oh my god. Dislike.
And well, yes, free building is for practicing building. It's also the most realistic and probably the best editing practice that you can get in the game. This is because in game, you never have repeating patterns of edits just laid out in front of you for you to edit. In game, you have to edit while building and edit through your builds while constantly reacting to new things being placed by you and your opponent. And this is exactly what you get to practice in free building. When free building, you want to always try new builds, retakes, and edits that you see your favorite pros doing, and always focus on improving. You should free build for 5 minutes in your warm-up and any more in between sessions, breaks, or after playing arena or scrims. Raider464's mechanics training map. The second way to improve your editing applies to players of all skill level, but it's especially beneficial to your routine, and that is Raider464's mechanics training map. This map is just amazing for improving everything mechanics and also your editing. You can play editing courses, editing through tunneling, and use the never before seen editing crosshair placement drills. This allows you to practice being optimal with your crosshair movements while making edits and speeds up your improvement by a ton. You should play this map all the way through once a day as part of your routine, but if you can't do that, just play half of each scenario. The third area of your game that you need to practice in your daily routine is building. This one is pretty basic and self-explanatory, so I won't spend too long explaining it to bore you guys out, but it is worth sticking around for this because there are some tips that actually people miss out on. So the first and most basic part of improving your building is free building. You might think that free building is pretty basic and you probably already do it now, and that's good, but I bet you are doing it wrong. When free building, you want to load up a blank map or use one like BHE private fights or Raider464's build fights. Once in this map, you want to grab a shotgun that you can have while building to pull out and shoot if you practice builds like pre-boxing where you would usually immediately pull out your shotgun. Then when you're not pulling out your gun to shoot for a specific move in everything else, you should be building with your blueprints out the entire time. It is so much more consistent and better for your improvement. If you struggle to build up the muscle memory to not pull out your pickaxe, I recommend actually going and unbinding your pickaxe bind so you actually just can't pull it out. I did this for a while and it actually worked wonders. Final quick thing that you could be doing wrong when free building is actually not learning. How many of you guys just go into a creative map to build and just do the same thing over and over again without changing anything or learning new builds? Don't lie, I see you there. It's alright, as long as you fix your mistakes now. You guys need to be constantly adding to your library of moves and retakes to broaden your building ability and make you more consistent in-game. The third to last aspect of your game that needs to be a part of your routine is the most recent addition to the family of Fortnite vocab, and that is piece control. By now, you should all know what piece control is, but if you don't or you would like to learn some more, watch this quick video that I'll put on screen right now. It's only 2 minutes and you can come back to this one after. Piece control has become a necessity to perform in fights, so it's a very important part of your routine. It will help you box people, take less damage, get a ton of free kills in all your fights, and smash the like button a lot faster. Which you should do if you haven't done already, by the way. There are two main ways to practice it. First, we have the most obvious, and that is Raider464's Piece Control Practice Map V2. This map is amazing for all aspects of piece control, as you practice boxing people from every angle imaginable. It's especially good because it caters to all skill levels as you just fill in the builds by yourself. By the way, Raider464's Mechanics Training Map's Piece Control tunnels are also great for piece control. And the second method of practicing your piece control is piece control free building drills. These are moves that you do while free building that are heavily based around and practice your piece control. This has a lot more variation than what you can get with the piece control practice map, and is generally better for higher skilled players as it's less of a guided approach, but you can get much more advanced and creative just like you'll have to perform in game. Fifth up, we have fighting. Fighting skills in the past few seasons have become some of the most important skills in the game for qualifying through opens tournaments. Fighting skills involve your mechanics, decision making, and ability to press the like button during fights. Just press it already, you're enjoying the video if you've watched this far. The first method of improving your fighting skills is to play creative 1v1s. 1v1ing is a great way to get high intensity, fast paced practice. Realistic 1v1s are the best way to actually improve fighting sense in game because you need to play it more like a real fight. Everyone, even just sometimes subconsciously, has a different playstyle between their creative and real game fights, so when playing these 1v1s, you should actively try to play them like you would in a real game, and vice versa. That is, you should try to play the real game fights like you are these creative 1v1s. I don't know if that makes sense. This way, you get realistic practice because you can improve the areas of your fights that are letting you down in-game. I recommend that you play a couple of these rounds just to warm up, as you don't want to get stuck playing creative for too long. You should mainly use 1v1s for a backup fighting practice if arena ends up being too tilting. The next and main method of practicing your fighting is playing preferably solo arena. This is pretty obviously the best way to practice your fighting because it's literally just fighting people lots. Yeah. When playing arena, you should try to drop at a spot that suits your needs. If you're consistently struggling to win off spawn at any location, drop at a completely uncontested spot in the middle of nowhere. That way you can build up your confidence and slowly start dropping at more and more contested spots until you can consistently win all your fights. Try to fight confidently like you would in creative. If you want to improve the most though, you have to do it right. Don't take stupid fights or feel scared to disengage, but at the same time, try your best to take as many fights as possible and put yourself in uncomfortable situations. If you're at that higher level where you're consistently dropping at a POI, if you happen to be dying off spawn a few games in a row in a session, just make sure to take a break, come back, drop at a more low-key spot, get a good game so you don't tilt, and then get back to the original strategy. If you do end up tilting, however, try to remember that every loss is an opportunity to improve and you can't win every game. even the pros can't. Take a break or do some creative fights so you can keep practicing. I recommend playing Arena for an hour and a half each day. And last but obviously nowhere near least important thing that needs to be on your routine is some game sense practice. Game sense is widely considered one of, if not the most important skill to have. The most important skill. So it's a must-have for the best practice routine. First up, probably the best way to improve your game sense is by playing scrims. Playing scrims is the best way to passively gain game sense. Through playing scrims, you'll naturally gain game sense by being forced into new, different, and often difficult situations. When playing scrims, you need to focus on the things you are bad at and the areas of the game that you don't do enough of. For example, if you never take height endgame and you always play low ground, maybe just dedicate a whole session of scrims to taking height, which by the way should go for about as long as you play Arena, depending on what skills you want to focus on and what your strengths are. And the very last point for the entire video is VOD reviewing. VOD reviewing is just going over your gameplay to assess your weaknesses and strengths to fix your gameplay. You should try to VOD review most of your games and deaths in sessions every couple of days. In these sessions, you should break down your gameplay and strategies to see what worked and didn't to help fast track improvement. Speaking of breaking down gameplay and strategies to improve faster, I recently broke down the strategies that Mongrel and Mr. Savage used to become as good as they are today. Those videos will be on the screen now, so I'll see you over there.